that for us to restart tourism, we need to make sure that the right services are being provided in the right quality standards that are needed. For that matter, we have given notice. Come 1st January 2023, if you are an existing tourism enterprise that hasn't registered and has been inspected and licensed by UTB, then the law enforcement will come in force. Of course, this doesn't mean that new operators cannot start new businesses. New business is going to be continuous for the new businesses that are just starting. As soon as you get your trading license, the next thing you should get your TIN number, and then the next step is really come to Uganda Tourism Board. But also just a message to the private sector who are investing in accommodation facilities. Know that Uganda Tourism Board actually has a department of quality assurance, and we have technical staff who can help you before you start any construction. You can come and get support from Uganda Tourism Board so that the minimum requirement for the standards that you are setting your facility is already determined and can be shared with you, so that you don't make any mistake. Because right now, as we go around inspecting, we do the inspection before licensing. As we are doing inspection, we are finding people have been
the farmer who supplies the food to that hotel has got money. The tour guides who are here guiding the tourists has got money. And it will become even very, very profitable if this tourist decides to go to other sites. For example, make a circuit, like from here, Jinja, he goes to Mount Elgon, CP Falls, he goes to Murchison, he goes to Kidepo, he goes to Kibale Forest National Park.
Has given us, we have done very little. The peace and security has helped us where we are today. We need to take off in having real impact. The essence of my presentation was to show that at the source of the Nile, those of you who have traveled across, the products, when you go to water cruise, the landing site is developed. But government has to put in resources. We'll be using a private boat by an individual. It may not be a brother from Kenya. It may not be the best, but it's at the source of the Nile.
Has been able to put our case clearly why we want to do. Chairman. Touristic attractions on the lake, because we are really trying to promote marine tourism, but we can't do this not unless you, the leaders in the country, get to see what we are dealing with, what we need to do to improve on these sites and products, and thereafter we shall be in a position to attract both domestic tourists and international tourists. And I can tell you, when COVID hit us,
So you aren't going? I'll miss you. Don't worry, I'll be here.
Wonderful experience. Yes. If you can invest more money, just to have something suitable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Crossed the Nile on the bridge we can still see today. Look at these early images of a train known as Small Railway, Carrel, and passed through the place we now know as Calais.
Church of Uganda. Wonderful experience. Yes. If you can invest more money, just to have something suitable.
Thank you. Thank you.
After watching this film about the history of the railways in Uganda and of the people associated with them, why not
Are you aware we are doing a making?
Oh, na abantu bale malama madala.
Okoye. Jackie. Kujambuka. Lero rulo. Waliyo.
Vai, asumani. Kwa ifanani byange bya fast media.
The washrooms, waiting area. We should be having modern washrooms at the source, waiting area where people sit and wait for the cruise. Because you board at a given time based on the availability. But those are not all happening. So we have a lot of things that we must do to ensure that we develop this. Most of the facilities are held by private institutions and individuals, but we have to guide them and ensure that we support them. The financing to the tourism sector in terms of access to resources to invest.
So mutwalo 15. Kandi zo inotali kwa mugambe 5 akuwa mutwalo. Kota nige 15 wakuweta.
It requires a lot of improvement, as you've already seen and as you'll be able to see. But our view was that you needed to have an appreciation of what we mean when we say we need to focus on product improvement, on site improvement, because many of you have been all over the world. And when they say they are taking you to a site of touristic attraction, what you get and what we are supposed to give here, you will be in a position to agree with us that we need to do something. This morning, we have agreed that Director Chemonges leads us in a brief.
It would have been all at a go. Why Jinja alone? No. Okay.
Because otherwise you might not marry trouble. Because otherwise you might not marry trouble.
And other things.
We are looking at the tourist attractions in Jinja, and we are doing this in a company of UTB and their board. We are trying to see the challenges they are having in promoting this sector. We are now at the source of the Nile. We are looking at the poor state. The boats are in. We are looking at the poor state. The docking sites are in. We need a glass bridge. So we are here to understand, as opposed to sitting in Parliament and just looking at documentation, the actual challenges UTB is facing in performing their functions of marketing destination, Uganda.
What has been your observation?
Based on our observations, the tourism sector has been underfunded, and yet they are fetching much more money than they are getting for this country. So I think we need to start looking at the priorities government needs to invest in, and we need to reward those sectors that are giving us the money we are spending.
Is it possible for you to do those things?
Even the private sector, you know, if as we were going on the boat, why shouldn't there be many boats owned by Ugandans on Lake Victoria, on River Nile? So that's our call, and we are so glad that decision makers have come to see for themselves, and we hope, we are just asking them, you support UTB, you support Ministry of Tourism to develop at least one product per year. Start with the source of the Nile, then go to the equator, then go to Sipi
What
Falls.
ought to be done here to change or to give it a facelift? What ought to be done?
Even starting with simple things like the steps, simple things like signage showing where the source of the Nile is. Just simple things that we need to do. You know, making sure that there are good facilities you know, good washrooms, good toilets. You know, it's those simple things that when a tourist comes, they can actually appreciate that this is the source of the Nile. Thank you.